China really trying to kick out its foreigners currently? Why are many people under the impression that China is trying to get rid of their foreigners? And what things have changed recently? And most importantly, is it ever going back to the good old times? Let's discuss in today's video. My name is Mark from Mark's Adventures and welcome everyone to today's video. Before we start with today's video, what is your opinion? What do you think is the reason behind China trying to reduce the amount of foreigners in the country? Do you think there's any dark secret, or do you just think they have enough of all the foreigners here? Let me know in the comments. According to official data from the Chinese Immigration Bureau, last year there have been 140,000 resident permits issued to foreigners in China. That means that there are currently around 140,000 foreigners residing in China legally. But probably the number is even lower because this year, around February, March, we saw a huge wave of foreigners leaving China, heading back to their home countries. So actually, right now, I'm guessing the number is lower. While 140,000 sounds like a lot, but compared to the total Chinese population of 1.4 billion people, it's basically nothing. In my opinion, there are several reasons for this trend, and one of them we have already discussed it on this channel. Long lines at the COVID testing stations. Of course, it's the zero COVID policy that has been going on for almost 3 years already. But in my opinion, that's by far not the only reason. While I wouldn't go as far as to say that China is actively looking to push out all the foreigners, but there have been quite a lot of decisions and policies recently that make life for foreigners here in China less pleasant and more difficult. It all started right after the COVID restrictions and policies have taken place, and the most obvious and probably the biggest problem or reason for foreigners leaving right now is visa issues. In the last 2 years, it has become increasingly difficult for foreigners to apply and get granted a legal visa of any type. Even business and work visas are quite difficult right now to get, especially for small businesses. The requirements, the timelines, the needed documents, all these things have changed during the last 2 years and made it really difficult to apply for a visa. So even if you are on a legal visa at the moment, it doesn't mean that you will 100% be granted another one the next time you have to extend. Obviously, if you are a foreigner in China and you're looking to stay here, develop, maybe have a nice work, maybe get a family, that is not a good news. If you don't even know if next year you are still able to be here or not. And while of course it's still possible for business owners and employees, especially of big and reputable companies, to get their visas, it still affected a lot of foreigners, and it affected their decision or their plans to stay here or not. The sun came out here in Chengdu. Nice. Another very obvious and important reason is the current economic situation and also the possibilities, the opportunities of living, staying and working in China. You probably know that a lot of foreigners in China were working in the education sector, especially in private education, private schools, training centers, teaching English or other foreign languages to Chinese students. And while it wasn't exactly a dream job, it still offered a very good pay, a lot of independence and freedom, and low requirements for foreigners looking to work and develop in China. Now, last year, from August, the education industry in China got totally messed up by a lot of new rules, policies, and regulations. It also had a big impact on our own business, and it basically made it illegal to run and operate for-profit training centers or language schools. It totally changed the whole education industry, the way they worked, the way that students and parents prepare for their education, for their school life. And it also, even though I don't have any reliable data on that, but it also resulted in a lot of schools closing down, a lot of companies going bankrupt. And with these schools and companies, foreigners' job chances, work opportunities got less and less. It used to be very easy to find a teaching job in China if you are more or less qualified and if you can speak English, of course. Right now, it has already changed so much that even if you're qualified, it's not guaranteed that you're going to be able to find a job or to get a legal residence permit. In my opinion, it's this mix of less opportunities, COVID restrictions, and uncertainty about the future that made many foreigners reconsider or make new plans about whether they should stay in China, move somewhere else, go back to their home countries, and so on. And while China used to be a very interesting and fun place to live, personally, I don't see how things are going to go back to the good old times anytime soon. COVID isn't going to disappear anytime soon, and the Chinese government has already made pretty clear that as long as COVID is still around and it's still a threat, the COVID measures and policies are going to be left in place. And while change and development in China are happening at a very fast pace, I don't see that the visa restrictions and visa policies are going to be less restrictive anytime soon. In my opinion, the things only get more and more strict or restricted and not less. The employment situation is also not very likely to improve anytime soon because first of all, you have to leave COVID behind you. You have to make sure that your economy is starting to grow and recover again. And while the loss of jobs and job opportunities in the education sector does not necessarily mean that there's not going to be new opportunities, but if at all, I think it's still going to take a long time until we get there. So that is all for today's video. At least this is my point of view, my opinion on the things going on right now in China. Of course, I do want to know what is your opinion on all that. After hearing all of these changes and developments taking place right now in China, do you agree that the life for foreigners here is getting more and more complicated? Let me know in the comments below. Now it's time to wrap up today's video. I want to thank you all for watching today. If you enjoyed today's content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe my channel for more interesting videos from China and the rest of the world. I will see y'all in the next video.